You ever watch something online and just feel your whole brain pause like, oh, we're doing this again? Because that was me the second Stephanie popped on my screen. Not in a dramatic, chaotic way, no. It was that quiet, unsettling kind of moment where you realize she's about to double down on every single thing people have been calling out for months. And she's going to do it with a straight face, like nothing is wrong. It wasn't the grocery haul itself that stopped me, it was the energy behind it. The proud, almost celebratory way she filmed those brand name items, the caption about being blessed, and sudden switch from bragging about making more money than most people to then flexing government funded groceries as if that was the exact contradiction the internet has been begging her to address. And the more I watched, the more it felt like she was inviting us back into the same cycle she keeps spinning. Chaos, denial, excuses, victimhood, repeat. So today, we're diving into everything. Every contradiction, every excuse, every emotional U-turn she made. And we're going step by step, smoothing nothing over, cutting nothing out, because the full picture is the only way this story makes sense. Let's get into it. Stephanie posts a grocery haul that looks so over the top it almost makes you blink twice. It's the kind of haul where every box, every bag, every single item is name brand, stacked to perfection and arranged like she's about to film a cooking show. It has that we're going to eat good tonight energy, except instead of being a simple proud mom moment, she reveals that she bought all of it using her EBT benefits. And instantly, you feel the shift in the room. Like, girl, what are we doing here? She captions the TikTok with, beyond grateful we received our EBT this month. We were prepared not to, but blessed when we did. And honestly, if you didn't know anything else about her situation, this would sound normal, sweet even. Gratitude, relief, a family being able to eat. She has 5 kids. Groceries are expensive. Nobody's mad that the children are being fed. But this isn't happening in isolation. This is happening in the middle of all her contradictions. And that's what changes everything.
Stephanie Jenkins is getting food stamps. Stephanie Jenkins is getting food stamps, and this is proof. She just posted a video basically like it's a grocery haul, and when I tell you she has so many groceries, it's insane. So she starts off by, I think the caption says, when your when your food stamps finally hit or something like that. It's there on the bottom of my video. This is atrocious, Stephanie Jenkins, because it could either be one of two things. Either you're getting food stamps and you're staying at a free motel shelter and you're making thousands of dollars a month while you feed your habit and neglect your children. Or number two, you are making a parody video making fun of people that are finally getting their food stamps. Because we all know with the whole government shutdown, people were not getting their food stamps, and that was debatable, and there was just so much going on with that. And for you to just like make fun of it shows that you are a cold-hearted bad person. That's what I was gonna say. Cold-hearted bad person. Because who does this for content? Who does this for clicks? And who does this for likes? You do. Meanwhile, your husband's over there having a whole midlife crisis because he might lose his son. You post things like this to make sure that he stays away.
Because literally one day before this, she was on live, loud, proud, and telling everyone how she makes more money than most people. How she doesn't need a stable job because social media is her job and it pays her way more than any of these 9 to 5 people. She said it with her whole chest. She doubled down on it. She made it clear that she was not struggling, that she is earning.
You guys I still do not see my social media thing as a job when I probably make more than most of you. I could give a frick.
We learned a whole lot about the resilient Jenkins financial situation this week. And while I think most people suspected that Stephanie and Drew were making a decent income off of social media, people have long been questioning, where is all of the money going? And why are you still homeless living in a motel? Well, Drew was able to clear up some of those questions on his live stream prior to Stephanie's, where he mentioned
we overqualified today. Overqualified for like income-based, I guess you could say.
they overqualify for housing assistance, so they make too much money. She also posted an update video about their GoFundMe that was initially created to help raise legal funds to help in Drew's custody battle. But in this video, Stephanie talks about how she lost access to that GoFundMe and that she's struggling to get back into the account, and that she wanted to ask everybody if it was okay if she used that money towards the kids' Christmas this year, or even on an urban air trip. If you make more money than everybody else, why do you need the GoFundMe money for the kids' Christmas? And a few days prior to both of their live streams, Stephanie posted a video where she bought a brand new over $200 Ninja appliance. But for some reason, she still can't understand why she has so many critics and haters. Let's not forget that they have also previously stated that they have a budget for... Stephanie also just posted this over on FB stating that she's beyond grateful for their EBT this month. So they're also getting food stamps. Now, somebody did mention in the comments that the income guidelines for Oregon to get food stamps for a family of 7 is $8,000. So it is possible that they are under that limit, but if they are, and they are genuinely qualifying for EBT, and as Stephanie states, is making more money than anybody else, why are you still in a motel? Why are you buying brand new appliances that are not a need, but a luxury? This is why you have critics and haters, Stephanie. It's honestly baffling as to why you don't understand that. People want to see you and Drew doing everything within your physical being to get you and your children out of that motel. You're constantly saying in your content that you want to be authentic and genuine. You got the platform that you did because of your living situation. And people want to see you and Drew making moves and doing better to get out of that situation. But instead, your content is anything but that.
So imagine a viewer who sat through that live, hearing her brag about her income, only to wake up the next day and see her flexing a grocery haul she only got because of government assistance, meant specifically for families who cannot afford food. Families who are genuinely in need, families who have no other option. That contradiction hit people like a slap in the face, because how do you say you make more than the average working parent, but then turn around and swipe an EBT card meant for the people who are working themselves raw just to keep the kids fed? How do you talk about having high income and then dip into the same resources that people wait hours in food pantry lines for? And it wasn't too long ago, literally weeks, when she filmed herself in her car, crying so hard her voice shook, saying she was heartbroken watching 60 cars lined up at a food pantry. She said it broke her spirit. She said it made her so empathetic toward people who couldn't afford meals for their families. She said the government was cruel for cutting people off the EBT program. She said she understood that other families needed it more than she did. She called herself the voice of the voiceless.
And to just strip what they had for assistance. Honestly, I'm not the type to post a video of me crying or something like that. At least I try not to be. But I just went through this church-driven community center, clothing, thrift store, food pantry. There's 60 cars lined up for this mobile food pantry. And it just kind of broke my heart because there's already such a need for food assistance in lower income families, and to just strip what they had for assistance, it's fucking just so... You lack humanness, bro. You're such a fucking rotten human. And I'm not even crying about myself because we'll figure it out, and I feel fucking blessed that we're in a position where we can. But it was literally us in a fucking year and a half ago, and all these families, bro. This fucking country. I have to hope and pray that, the worse that it gets, our country will become just as united, the civilians, as other countries manage to do, because that's the only way we're all going to survive this shit. That's the only reason why people do survive in their fucking war zones is because they unite as civilians. And we all have our fingers up to each other fucking constantly for what? Gather your shit, y'all. We need each other.
And now here she is, celebrating the fact that she received EBT, showing off brand name groceries purchased with it, and treating it like an ecstatic TikTok moment. She can afford a Ninja air fryer. She can afford gardening. She can afford new appliances. She can afford all these lifestyle extras. But somehow, she cannot afford groceries unless taxpayers fund them. Somehow, the luxuries are fully accounted for, but the basics magically require government assistance. Then the caption. Oh, that caption makes everything worse. She says they were prepared not to get the benefits, which tells us they had money set aside. They would have been fine. They had a plan. They weren't in crisis mode. So why still take from the system designed for families who cannot put food on the table at all? Why not use your own money if you claim you have it? And the confusion only grew because right after bragging about making more than most people, she was also asking her viewers to support her afford Christmas presents for her kids. She asked for donations while living in a shelter motel, while receiving benefits, and while claiming she earns high income. It didn't add up. It didn't sit right. And for people who had already lost their EBT benefits, people who didn't know where their next meal was coming from, it felt cruel. And then suddenly, another thought started circulating online. What if this is rage bait? Because if she didn't get those groceries using EBT, and she posted this knowing that families were panicking about losing their food stamps, that's not just insensitive, that's cruel. That's exploiting their suffering for views. That's playing in the faces of people who are genuinely hungry. And the internet let her have it. The comments came in hot. People said she was robbing resources from families who needed them more. They said she was neglecting her children emotionally and financially, putting money into things that didn't matter while leaving the essentials to the government. They accused her of prioritizing her alleged substance use over her kids because people have been noticing challenges in how she speaks, how she looks, how she behaves, and those allegations have been getting louder, not quieter. The uproar was intense. People called her selfish, irresponsible, careless. They said she plays victim while using every system she can. They said it isn't fair that hardworking parents can't get benefits while she gets them effortlessly and then flaunts them online like content. The common message? If you claim high income, you shouldn't be taking food benefits meant for struggling families. And after all of that, every comment, every call out, Stephanie finally responded. This is the moment the entire story flips on its head, because instead of taking even a second to acknowledge the contradiction, instead of owning anything or offering clarity, Stephanie runs straight to Facebook and slapped the "I am being bullied" label on everyone. It was like watching someone sprint past accountability and drive straight into victim mode without even looking back. She didn't pause, she didn't breathe. She just defaulted to the same script she pulls out every single time. Pity, deflection, and that deep side tone she loves to use when she wants to paint the world as unfair. She posted on Facebook saying, "Why do you follow along just to bully? Luckily, I have a backbone for it. Why not stop speaking filth on my page? Lord knows you all can't help yourselves." And the way she said it almost sounded like she genuinely believes she's being hunted. But the thing is, people aren't showing up to bully her. They are reacting to the content she puts out. She films neglect. She shows the chaos. She exposes the parts of her life that raise concern. And then, when people comment on what she has already chosen to broadcast, she calls it bullying. It's like she refuses to understand the difference between cruelty and criticism. Viewers aren't randomly attacking her. They're responding to what they see with their own eyes. And the funniest part is that she has every tool in the world to protect herself from negativity. She could block comments. She could mute phrases. She could turn off her comment section entirely. She could stop posting things she knows will set people off. But she doesn't. Because she loves the engagement. She needs the engagement, the attention. Even if it's negative, it's her fuel. She knows that rage comments boost her videos. She knows controversy drives views. She knows that outrage puts money in her pocket. If she truly hated the bullying, she would stop manufacturing it. But she keeps stirring the pot, keeps pushing buttons, keeps throwing content out that she knows will spark arguments. It's hard to claim you're tired of negativity when you keep fishing for it. And then she made another video, this time about the Motel situation, the one topic everyone begs her to be honest about. People asked the question that has been floating around for months. Why are you still not out of the motel? Because realistically, if she's making as much money as she claims she is, if she has the financial freedom she brags about, if she can afford gardening and appliances and random lifestyle splurges, why is she still living in a motel almost a year later? Her response was, some things take time. We spend every hour we can searching and working toward getting out of here. And I don't know what universe she's talking about, but in this one, that statement does not match anything viewers have said. She said she can't get an apartment because of her credit score, but she hasn't shown any single step toward fixing that credit score. Not one. No phone calls, no debt consolidation, no credit repair attempts, nothing. What we have seen is gardening, a ninja appliance, endless car labs, sitting around waiting for gifts from viewers, new gadgets that have nothing to do with securing stable housing. If they were working every hour toward living, there would at least be signs, tiny improvements, visible effort, something. Instead, it looks like she's stalling, almost dragging the situation along just enough to eventually qualify for a housing voucher. Then she said the image has been tarnished by bitter people. But it's not bitter people tarnishing anything. It's her. It's Jew. It's the things they put online. No one forced them to show the motel. No one forced them to expose their credit issues, the chaos, the neglect. No one forced them to turn their entire life into content. And then she brought God into it, saying, only person I answer to is God. If you haven't sat with me in person more than once, you don't know me. You don't get to give me advice. But again, people aren't trying to control her life. They are begging her to do better for her kids. Posting your life on the internet automatically opens the doors to opinions, especially when mirrors are involved and their safety is being questioned. She ended her rant by accusing viewers of being miserable in their own lives, saying that people who comment on her situation must be missing beautiful moments in their own families because they are too busy picking at others. But let's be real. It takes 30 seconds to drop a comment. People commenting doesn't mean they are unhappy. It means her content is raising red flags. And on top of that, viewers noticed something else in that motel video. Her eyes. They said she seemed high again. They said her eyes were dilated, her speech slowed, her energy unhinged. These are alleged observations, not confirmed facts, but it's the exact behavior that keeps fueling the substance use allegations she insists aren't true. Instead of disproving the accusations, she's making them louder. She's not escaping the allegations, she's tightening them with every video. So what does all of this mean when you strip away the noise and really sit with a pattern? Because at some point, you look at Stephanie's behavior, you look at the timing, the contradictions, the reactions, and you start to realize there are a few very real possibilities at play here, and none of them paint a picture of someone who's trying to climb out of chaos. If anything, it feels like she's settling into it. The first theory is the one almost everyone whispers about at this point, that the outrage isn't an accident, it's a strategy. That she knows exactly what she's doing when she posts videos like the EBT haul, because she knows those posts stir people up. She knows the internet reacts loudly when it feels played with. And when you watch the way she uploads, the second theory comes from viewers who keep pointing to the things she shows on camera. The dilated eyes, the slowed speech, the rumbling tone, the way her stories don't match from one day to the next. These are allegations, not confirmed facts, but they are repeated so much because her behavior keeps feeding them. When she sits in the motel or in her car with eyes looking glassy and unfocused, when her words jump from topic to topic with no clarity, When she doubles down on contradictions that don't make sense, people start wondering if something deeper is clouding her judgment. Again, these are claims viewers make based on what she puts online. But the pattern is loud, and instead of disproving the allegations, her behavior keeps strengthening them. And the third theory, the one that ties everything together, is that she's surviving off a combination of government benefits and internet chaos because the lifestyle she wants isn't something she can sustain on her own. She claims high income, yet she has been in a motel for almost a year. She shows luxuries she buys, yet uses EBT to cover essentials. She says she has enough money, yet asks viewers to help her buy Christmas gifts for her kids. She talks about working toward better housing, yet shows no steps toward credit repair or financial stability. It's like she's leaning on every external system, the government aid, social media drama, follower sympathy, because she cannot or will not build long-term stability for herself or her children. And when you look at all these theories side by side, they stop feeling separate. They start blending together into one cycle, a cycle where rage drives engagement, engagement drives income, income gets spent on things that don't solve anything, nothing improves, and the motel becomes both the backdrop and the excuse. That's a loop we're watching play out in real time. So, plain English, Stephanie isn't just stuck. She is sinking deeper into the same cycle she keeps promising she'll break. Every new post feels like another shove in the wrong direction, another reminder that she's spiraling instead of stabilizing, and another sign that she's drifting even farther from the version of herself she claims she wants to be. It's like watching someone double down on quicksand and calling it progress. And people are noticing. The call-outs aren't slowing down, they're multiplying. Viewers who once tried to give her grace now feel manipulated. Families who are genuinely struggling to put food on the table feel mocked watching her flaunt benefits they have been cut off from. And the allegations around her substance use, those aren't fading either. They are getting louder, heavier, harder to ignore, especially when her on-camera behavior keeps matching the very things she insists aren't true. Then there is the motel, almost a year, with no real improvement, no visible plan, no sign of improvement. What used to be empathy from the internet has turned into frustration, concern, and that painful mix of, we've seen this before, and why are you not choosing better? And in the middle of all that noise, right at the center of every argument, every comment, every call out, are her kids. Kids who did not ask for any of this. Kids who deserve stability, consistency, safety, and a version of their mother who shows up for them in real life, not just online. My verdict: Stephanie isn't just doubling down, she's building an entire content cycle around chaos. She's leaning into contradictions, playing victim when convenient, and using outrage to keep her engagement alive. And until she decides to break the cycle, things will only get worse. What do you think? Is this denial, strategy, or something deeper? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want updates on what happens next.